Humans, Homo sapiens, people, whatever you like to call us, it's quite amazing how far we've come from our humble beginnings, making use of our advanced intelligence to use our equally advanced bodies to solve problems that literally no other creature on planet Earth could solve. And while we aren't able to fly at will, breathe underwater, change the colour of our skin, or regrow parts of our bodies if we lose them, there's a few interesting things that might be worthwhile knowing about the human body, because it's just so darn amazing. Like, what if I told you that we are the only creatures on planet Earth that can blush? Yeah, you know, when you go outside your house, you walk down the street but didn't realise that you left your zipper unzipped after you went to the bathroom to go to the toilet, and the person that you go to meet be like, "Hey, you're flying without a licence," and you get that embarrassed feeling which results in your cheeks going red? It happens to the best of us, don't worry about it. Oh, don't cry, no, oh, don't cry. Blushing happens because of an increased amount of capillary blood flow in the skin, and can extend beyond just the cheeks, reaching out to places like the ears, the neck, the upper chest, and sometimes even more than that. But, yeah, we are the only creatures on planet Earth that can blush. Blushing from embarrassment is governed by the same system that activates your fight or flight response. This system is involuntary, of course, so you don't have to think about it to carry out the process of blushing. When you're embarrassed, your body releases adrenaline. Now, adrenaline does many things to your body, such as making your eyes widen up, allowing you to gather as much light information necessary to make life or death decisions more quickly. It'll slow down the digestion of food you happen to be eating to allow more power to be diverted to your movement systems, such as your arms and legs. It'll also numb out a lot of pain, so if your body is being subject to something traumatic, like, say, a car crash, you'll feel less pain so that you can more effectively deal with anything aftermath, like, say, the car sets on fire and you have to escape. Adrenaline also causes your blood vessels to dilate, something called vasodilation, in order to improve blood flow and oxygen delivery. This is the case with blushing. The veins in your face respond to a signal from the chemical transmitter adenosine, which tells the veins to allow the adrenaline to do its work. As a result, the veins in your face dilate, allowing more blood to flow through them than usual, which is what creates the reddened appearance that tells others that you're embarrassed. In other words, adrenaline causes more local blood flow in your cheeks. While we're on the subject of blood, here's a fun little fact about blood. If you were to extract all of the blood from your body, you would die. But if you then somehow separated all of the iron out of your blood and then put it all in a smelter, you would be able to create a nail that is about 3 inches long. Because iron that you consume from tablets and food isn't just called iron to give it a fancy vitamin name like calcium. Iron is iron, the same iron that makes train tracks and hammers. So you might be thinking, well, okay, humans are able to blush, right? That sort of counts as being able to change the colour of your skin like a chameleon, huh? Well, sort of. But what if I told you that something else very amazing is happening to our skin right now? Something that we don't notice with the naked eye. Our skin emits light. Yeah, no, seriously, human skin emits light. Not enough for us mere humans to notice with the naked eye, as it's just a very small amount of light, 1,000 times less intense than anything that the naked eye can reveal from the visible spectrum. And no, we're not mixing up visible light from infrared. Our bodies not only give off a lot of infrared light, but we also emit visible light too. You do need a very special camera to see this in action, which would probably cost an arm and a leg to buy, but yeah, we give off visible light. Let's talk about babies for a little bit. Babies are, well, strange and interesting at the same time. For one, babies actually have more bones than adults. A typical bone count for an adult human will be about 205, 206. A baby, however, can have upwards of 300 bones. As you might have already thought, a baby simply has more bones than an adult because it hasn't had time to develop yet. In fact, a baby's bones, quote-unquote, aren't really the same as what an adult has to begin with. Many of a baby's bones are made entirely of cartilage, which is sort of like a connective tissue that is tough, but flexible at the same time. Some of the bones in a baby's body are partially made of cartilage to allow babies to fit in tight spaces, like inside a woman, for example, and also to be able to escape it with ease. As your baby grows into childhood, much of that cartilage will be replaced by actual bone. During said time, much of these bones will actually fuse together, reducing the total amount of bones inside the body. That is until they reach adulthood and then they host a TV show about them doing stupid things on shopping trolleys, and they end up breaking the bones again, so they end up with more bones than they really should have. You know, whenever you get on an airplane for a 4-hour flight to a holiday vacation you've been looking forward to for the past year, but then there's that guy who sits next to you and he stinks. It's body odour that you can smell, but what's making that awful perspiration smell in the first place? Most people will think that it's the actual sweat on its own, but that isn't the case. Sweat on its own isn't actually smelly, it is just water after all. What produces the actual smell is the bacteria that also gets secreted out, which breaks down the water to create the smell. You may have noticed that some parts of the body smell a bit worse than others after a long workout, like the groin or the armpits. That's because those are the areas where the sun doesn't really shine that much. They're dark, they're warm, and they're a perfect environment for bacteria to live in. Side note, while we're talking about sweat, it's a common belief that dogs don't sweat to cool their bodies down. They instead do that thing where they're like, they're panting, if you will. However, dogs do sweat. Not as much as humans, and only in very specific spots. They get secreted from things called mecrine glands, and can be located in dogs' paw pads. Sweating through their paws helps to cool things down, but of course this isn't their primary method of cooling, that being the panting that they do. So yeah, those are some interesting things that I found about the human body. If you found this interesting, make sure to do all of the stuff that everyone on YouTube always asks you to do, like liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!